These are the final seconds.
The lead in the fourth. Can they hold on to it?
That do or die time. And everything rides on one shot. But it isn't going to be that easy.
And it's a one-point game.
This is down to the wire.
They're going to try the three-point attempt.
One shot to take you to the top. One winner. This is clutch basketball. That's the NBA playoffs. That's game.
Clorox knows you want your clothes smelling fresh and clean. But so what happens? That's why we created Clorox fabric sanitizers to freshen up your clothes between washes, pre-treat extra stinky laundry, and make sure every last odor comes out in the wash. Clorox fabric sanitizers take care of all that and eliminate 99% of odor-causing bacteria. Plus, they're bleach-free and safe for all colors and fabrics. When it counts, trust Clorox.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. I just said before we start recording I'm going to bring extra energy, but then I realised that I wanted to talk about something bad to start the show, so I'm going to pull back on that promise already because it did not come home, Damon. Football did not come home. Not only did football not come home, but my country of birth decided to show its entire arse, literally as well as figuratively, as a result, and I'm very sad, Damon.
I know. Look, it was not a. Here's what I didn't understand. Can I be very frank? Why were there people tearing apart the city? The game hadn't even started yet. And then there were people that were like, well, guess what? I don't have a ticket, so I'm going in. They just crashed in, which was okay. And then the game, I thought the game was good. I mean, listen, again, I'm not an expert by any stretch, but I thought the game was good. And it coming down the kicks at the end was just, heartbreaking. I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, this guy's got to fucking make a save, and he did. And then, what did they have? 3 opportunities. They couldn't put it in the fucking back of the net. It's like, fuck. Yeah, and then, of course. Again, but here's the thing. And maybe I'm thinking the opposite of it, but it's just like, it's the internet. And it's like it's like nameless, faceless words going out without any true connection. I hope that's what it is, because if there's like legitimate legitimate racism and legitimate toward those kids, I mean, that is just ugh. Let me ask you this: of all that vile banter that everyone saw, was that like John 736266976, or was that like a legitimate human being name tied to these racist comments?
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, there's this blanket of anonymity that these cowards hide behind, and there's a lot of talk that maybe people should have to use some sort of official identification to sign off for these social media things. If you've got to let Twitter have your passport details, your ID card or whatever, then people might think twice about doing this sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean a lot of it is that, and I don't want to say that they're all that there isn't this subgenre of hate that's everywhere online and legit and real. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I think it's like it's just like just this. I don't know. Just people just like to be. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I mean, I understand that me trying to summarize the internet and the issues that arise from it at 5 o'clock in the morning is probably not the best idea.
But it's just like I don't know. But here's the thing, too, Joel. I hate to say it, but you see that a lot in sports across the board, even in like hockey, and which is a predominantly white sport. It's like you get those comments when there's a person of color. It's unbelievable why and how it still happens. I don't understand it. I wish I did, Joel. I wish I did. I wish I could give you an answer. I really do. I wish I could give you an answer. The answer is that A, people are fucking idiots, and B, it's anonymity, and C, how were you raised? Like, how were you raised? Oh, I know. What's sad is that right after it happened, I felt bad for both you and Dan, because I know that, not that it meant everything to you guys, but like it was just something that everybody was kind of pumped up for, and just you guys, you just wanted it, and it didn't happen. I felt horrible. Boy, I really feel like I summed up race relations in the entire world. I said literally nothing because I don't know what to say. What do I say? I don't know what to say. It's besides it's fucking ridiculous that I still got to say something. Somebody's got to still say something. Whatever. I can't do it anymore.
There's three separate aspects. The first, you touched on it, Damon. The behaviour of the English fans before the match, right? And English fans have got this reputation of when they go abroad to these sorts of tournaments, they get lagered up and they trash foreign places. Whichever country they happen to be in, they'll just get completely hammered and smash the place up. So, I mean, it's good in the sense that they didn't discriminate from their own country. Their home country, they'll still get absolutely wankered and completely destroy that as well. So. Right. There's that, partly it's this big sort of emotional release from all the lockdowns and the COVID, and of course that hasn't gone away, but people just saw this as a big release valve. So I can, whilst not condoning it, I could see why people went out there, and if they want to get their cock and balls out in front of a crowd, or have their mate hold them in a wheelbarrow position while someone else inserts a firework in their anus, go for it. You're an adult. If you want to do that, more power to you. The stuff with people, the security around Wembley just looked woefully inadequate. People literally forcing their way into the venue. Maybe something they picked up from you Americans, Damon, because you're good at that.
We're not good at that. How are we good at that? We're not good at that.
The White House.
Oh, right.
Oh no, it wasn't the White House, was it? What was the building that people forced their way into?
That was the Capitol building. The Capitol.
That's it. I always get them mixed up. So
That's okay.
Neither of us exactly coming out of this
yes.
smelling like roses. But yeah, some of the videos I saw, people forcing their way into Wembley, kids getting hurt, people getting their heads kicked in. That was really ugly.
I didn't understand it because there were people that looked to be inside, and then people looked like from the outside were coming in, and then the not the security, it was like people in line getting a beer, then decided, there's people coming in, let's beat them up.
Yeah, it looked like the stewards just didn't want any part of that. They were like, fuck this noise, and they just did not get involved at all. They didn't do their job. But, it's I don't want to pass judgment over that because it must have been pretty terrifying. I think the lack of... Damon, if there's like a Black Lives Matter protest in London, some sort of, peaceful demonstration, then, they somehow managed to get the security and the police enforced to make sure that is well managed. But for, the biggest... football match in the country for 50 years, somehow managed to be short on police. I don't understand it. But
I heard it was it's a private, like there were police presence outside of Wembley, but not on the grounds. I could be woefully wrong, but because it was Wembley's security is there. If you notice, there was really no police per se. Am I wrong in that? I could be, again, I could be.
From what I've read, the police presence in the whole sort of Wembley Park area was woefully inadequate. Okay. That's what I've heard anyway. Right. So there's that. that's all pretty embarrassing. So the football game itself, I thought we did really well. It's very easy to play, what do you call it, Monday morning quarterback and say, oh, well, Southgate did. Someone's written, Ben said, is it time to sack Southgate? I don't know if that's tongue-in-cheek. No, I think Southgate's the best manager we've had for ages. And it's very easy to say, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that. But, Italy were the best team in the tournament by quite a distance, I thought. I said that weeks ago on this podcast. So they're the best team in Europe, and it was a draw. It was 1-1. We were ahead for most of the match. It finished 1-1 after 120 minutes. We got to the final. I think that's a great achievement in and of itself. Penalties, anything can happen in that. It's just so tragic. As soon as I saw it, it was 3 young black men who missed the penalties. I knew this was going to happen. I knew there was going to be trouble. And
really?
This is a product of UK politics. This is a product of a government that has exploited and stoked religious turbulence, racial turbulence for the last few years. And this is chickens coming home to roost. Like Priti Patel, who's excuse me, I'm just making sure I've got my facts right here. So Priti Patel's the Home Secretary of the UK, and she was one of the first people to get on Twitter. So, people giving all this horrific racial abuse to the kids. And kids is the right word. Bukayo Saka, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And all the love and respect and credit to him for having the balls, the bottle to step up and take a penalty in that situation. I'm never going to criticise someone for having the courage to step up, even if he did miss it. I love Saka anyway. He's probably my favourite football player at the moment. So he missed, which it happens in penalty shootouts. More experienced and better players than him have missed big penalties in the past. It's what happens. So people, getting in their DM, sending them the most vile, vitriolic, racist abuse, and then Priti Patel, Home Secretary of the UK, then coming out and condemning the abuse. Oh, this is very bad. Racism can't be tolerated. But this is the same person who was criticising people taking a knee and the Black Lives Matter protesters, showboating and, you can't politicise football, blah, 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 blah. It's people like that have caused this problem. It's the politicians in charge of this country who've been stoking those fires, and now you don't get to stir up all that shit and pour scorn and disrespect and fail to show solidarity with the Black Lives Matter protesters, and then say, "Oh, racism's bad, innit?" No, it's your fault. You caused this. If they'd shown a bit of more respect that the whole BLM protests and movement deserved, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. But this is. I understood after that why everyone hates England and why no one wanted us to win that tournament. And I have to hold my hands up and say, I'm kind of glad that we didn't win this trophy, because a lot of English fans don't deserve it, Damon.
Okay.
Don't deserve to have nice things.
Okay, and again, talking as a person who is completely outside the box, it's not every fucking fan, though. You know what I mean? And every fan base has packs of idiots. Maple Leaf fans have packs of idiots. Flyers fans, packs of idiots. Philadelphia Eagles fans, packs of idiots. Yet the majority are sane, level-headed, kind. They're just rooting for their team passionately. And then again, you have the lunatic fringe. Look, and it's with everything. It's with everything. You get a very, very noisy, and I'm going to say this too, people do like to amplify the noise, right? And almost, just like you said, oh, I knew this was going to happen, right? And trust me, I don't think the thought crossed or didn't cross many people's minds. But I will also say, don't you think there is we live in a day and age where you almost expect it and then go looking for it, right? Honestly, the last place I would go after that game would be Twitter for rational conversation, You know what I mean? Like that would be the time where I put down the phone. Never mind. I put down the phone and I go find something else to do, because that place would not be a place where I would want to be at that very moment, because here come the dopes. Here come the dopes. And then you get into this pattern of everyone, I don't want to say feeding the trolls, but like feeding that. And then your timeline becomes, that's the only thing you see. And then that just weighs down on you. I don't know. I just can't imagine the positiveness. And trust me, we're not the positive podcast, but I just can't imagine that those 4 days for a rational thinking English person and being online on Twitter. I just can't imagine that being a place where I would want to go.
What are you referring to? Are you referring to, like, a fan like me being on Twitter, or do you mean like the players themselves who have been subjected to this stuff?
Both.
I mean, there's two separate things. I think there is a discussion to be had about people, especially young celebrities, being protected from social media. If I was someone like Bukayo Saka, I wouldn't be fucking touching the app. I'd have a whole team of PR people doing it for me.
Yep.
They run everything by me. I would say, pay them and be like, look, show me the nice stuff, any of the horrible stuff. Your job is to filter it out. And I will tell you occasionally, I will share some stuff that you can tweet on my behalf. But, okay, that's a separate issue. That this is not victim blaming or making excuses for the fucking mouth-breathing scum that do this sort of stuff online. And that is a serious issue. And, I couldn't really argue against this idea about having to use some form of ID to sign up for this stuff, because I wouldn't do it. If they said, if Twitter said, we got to have a copy of your passport if you want to join Twitter, I'd be like, I guess I'm not joining Twitter then. And you know what? That'd probably be a good thing for everyone.
Again, I am not the target demographic. I understand that, but it's still a tool that millions upon millions of people use. Why do you feel the need, and I'm not saying Joel Abraham, I'm saying people in general, to tweet? Why do you feel the need to tweet? What is the purpose? Why do you...
Go
ahead.
Sorry.
No,
Well,
go ahead.
it's for a lot of people, it's an addiction. You get a little dopamine hit when you see those numbers going out. You tweet something and then you see the likes coming in and the retweets coming in, and you get that little buzz, a little shot of dopamine, and you feel nice. And that's why a lot of people do it. And, for public figures, celebrities, sports people, or whatever, it can be a good way of growing your brand or whatever. So
who cares? Who cares? I'm being naive about it. I'm being naive about it, but who cares? Honestly.
I agree. If I was a young, talented footballer playing for Arsenal, playing for England, I wouldn't have a Twitter. I wouldn't have any social media because I wouldn't need it.
Right.
But again, I'm not blaming, and neither is Damon. We're not blaming the people for having social media in the first place.
No.
And again, I think there's two separate issues here. One, the social media thing, whether or not people should have it in the first place, and then two, about how do you deal with racism? Because if you take away the social media, that racism is going to come out in some form.
Correct.
In 1998, England played in the World Cup. This is going to sound very familiar. David Beckham kicked or kind of lashed his foot out at, I think it was Diego Simeone in a match against Argentina. Got himself sent off. England lost the game on penalties. A lot of people blame David Beckham. And so this is before Twitter and social media took off. And people were creating and hanging and burning effigies of David Beckham. So even if there isn't social media, that hatred is going to come out in some form or fashion.
Yes, no doubt. I'm not saying Twitter is the problem. I'm saying that Twitter is this vehicle of anonymity, and that's how people communicate. I just don't understand why people feel the need to communicate in that fashion, to be honest with you. I personally don't. I don't understand why anyone would have a Twitter account and feel the need to post stuff. It just boggles my mind for that. That's a separate thing.
Yeah,
because
and again, it's burying the lead, because the issue here is that England is a country that is got deep-seated problems with racism, absolutely rife with it.
You know who also has that? You know who also has that, Joel? Every country has that.
I don't know.
My God!
There does seem to be something uniquely awful about English football fans.
Well,
why is it always? I never hear this from other countries.
You do though, but okay, again, the fact that you guys would travel to different countries for your tournaments, only because, but it's literally the equivalent of Oakland Raiders fans traveling to, I don't know, pick a city for an away game, Raiders versus Dallas Cowboys, and fighting in the stands and fighting outside the stadiums. It's not. It doesn't have that same traveling culture that it seems like football has in England. But there's that nonsense element anywhere you go. You mean to tell me, Joel, if I showed up in a Dallas Cowboys jersey during an Eagles home game, that I wouldn't be at the very least hassled, and at the very most my ass handed to me, because it's happened many times. There was a big thing where it was a hockey game. It was the outdoor game, like literally the most meaningless game in the world, like the softest regulation game of all time. These outdoor games, and a guy got killed outside of a place getting a cheesesteak because he was a Rangers fan. He got killed. He got in a fight. I'm sure they were mouthing off at each other and blah blah blah. And got killed. And again, this isn't really. We're kind of going off on a different thing, but terrible behavior happens everywhere. And I'll go so far as to say that name me a country where there isn't racism against someone, right? Name me a country.
Well, I can't. Obviously, racism is a global issue, but you cannot. No one can tell me with a straight face that the people in charge of the UK are doing what they can to stop that out, because they're not. They're exploiting it. This is how these people get into government, by stirring up those differences and fears and prejudices. That's how they get votes
to a certain population, yes. And then there are others who I would think that would go the opposite way. That, and again, try to appeal to the rational human beings of the world that say, okay, this is wrong. We got to put an end to this. And I think that's across the board. Boy, this podcast is really good. This is never going to make the late air, is it?
22 minutes. Oh my God, we better go in. I'm just sticking to the football. I'm so proud of the team and Southgate and every single one of those players. They played their socks off, and finally, it's been a long time since I can say I'm proud of the England team, because a lot of the time it's been filled with people who are underperforming and divas and people who aren't fit to wear the shirt. But it just seems like a great group of lads, and I'm so proud of them, even though they lost. They're all winners in my eyes, Damon. Bash says, was that the most tense and anxious you were as a fan of football? During that penalty shootout, Damon, I felt like my heart was actually going to explode. It was so nerve-wracking. Like the most... the other thing I would compare it to would be Arsenal in the Champions League final in 2006, and both of those ended in disaster and heartbreak for me. So that's just part of the experience of being an England fan. I think... like the Joker said in one of the Batman films, like a dog chasing traffic or whatever, wouldn't know what to do if he caught it. So an England fan, I wouldn't know what to do if we did actually win a trophy. It would undermine my whole sense of identity, because we are, to coin a Mourinho phrase, specialists in failure. So this heartbreak just add it to the pile. Can we talk about wrestling now?
Yeah, I'm sitting here I'm like, do I even want this out? Do I really want to release this? Because all I can see in my head, Joel, is just nonsense. Honestly, all I see in one day's time is our Twitter timeline somehow we're anti-England, we're anti-football, and then other people saying, oh, they're racist because they didn't stand up hard enough. And I'm ready to hit fucking stop and re-record the opening. That's what I feel like I am right now.
No, I stand by everything that we've said, and it will probably annoy. It seems to be a section of Reddit who've got it in for us. People who sort of take exception to things. It's usually me, stuff that I've said, like the Will Ospreay thing. But I just don't have any time for that. There's no way. One, why would I engage with people like that? And two, they're just wrong. Someone showed me a Reddit comment saying, when I was talking about the Will Ospreay thing, which I thought I was quite fair and even-handed on, paraphrasing me, saying, oh, the Super J-Cast guy said that if you don't agree with him that the Ospreay thing was domestic violence, then you're a domestic abuser yourself. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do with a comment like that? It's just wrong. Yeah. It's someone who did not listen or has willfully twisted my words. I don't care. If you have listened to anything that I've said over the last 20 minutes and it's upset you, then fuck off. I don't want you as a listener. I don't care. I don't care how many listens we've got, David. It means nothing to me. I don't get any more money for it. If you don't like my politics, piss off. Go and listen to something else. Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. All right, whatever. I don't know. I just don't. I don't need the stress in my life.
Well, you won't have to deal with it because I run the Twitter account.
I know. Well, sure. All right, let's talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. What do you say?
Yeah. So the movie Godzilla vs. Kong presents Summer Struggle in Sapporo. There are 2 shows in Hokkaido. They're on Saturday and Sunday. So did you watch the whole shows? Because I didn't, Damon. I just watched the 2 main events because that is how I consume New Japan these days.
That's the best way to consume New Japan. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Just main events in the last 5 minutes.
In double speed.
I've got to that point. Yeah, let's just talk main events.
Okay, so you don't have any burning hot takes about Yo and Ishii versus Dick Togo and Evil.
You know what I mean? Like, how... Look...
Who's watching this crap? Come on.
I don't know. I don't know. And here's the thing, too.
If I had a ticket, if I was there, a New Japan fan in Hokkaido, I would be turning up. I would just be on New Japan World. I'd be outside having a beer. Okay, right. Tetsuya Ishimori coming out now. Then I'll go to the arena again. Yeah. Find my seat.
I think I would, too. I really would. I would be just like... here's... I don't know. I'm about ready to pull the fucking plunger on this. Like, that's I can't imagine sitting through a fucking live show and paying money for it. I just can't.
No, yeah. The kind of show where I will sit down and watch the entire thing are only Tokyo Dome shows, and we'll talk about one coming up soon. I think top to bottom, the Wrestle Grand Slam card is really good. I will watch the entire show for that. But I'm sorry, for Summer Struggle in Sapporo, I'm not going to be sitting down to watch Rocky, Taguchi and Tanahashi against ELP, Yujiro and Kenta. No. With all the love in the world to those guys. I'm sure the match was fine, but I got no time for it, Damon. Can we talk about the main event then?
Yeah, I feel like where I am in... where I am with New Japan fandom is I feel like I've paid my time. You know what I mean? I feel like I paid my dues, and I have so much going on that, I don't know. I just feel like I have a better use of my time than doing that. That's the honest to God truth. That is the honest to God truth. But then, okay, so I'm watching these shows, and trust me, I thought both matches were fantastic. But then, I'm hearing Kevin Kelly talking about prop bets, and even they're bored with it. You know what I mean? They're all right, enough. We can't do this anymore. Please, somebody save us from these undercards that are just. We've been doing this for how long, Joel? 5 years? 4 years? What possibly more could we talk about than a multi-man tag match This is the worst show we've ever done. This is the worst show we've ever done.
Yeah.
Why would
you'll have to
anybody
excuse the negativity? I suspect if England had won Euro 2020, I will be coming in with a very different energy here. But as it is,
I don't think this is
it's
a
our
great show.
podcast, Dave. We can do what we want.
What?
It's our podcast. We can say whatever we like.
I don't know. I just feel like this is the worst show we've ever done.
And that's saying something, isn't it? Well,
It
okay,
is.
maybe we should just talk about the match then. So the main event of this first show was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. El Desperado successfully defending his second defense against Taiji Ishimori, 28 minutes, 54 seconds with Pinche Loco. And I really, really enjoyed this one, Damon. And I'm sure you did as well. I thought they had really good chemistry together. I always enjoy the kind of heel versus sort of quasi-heel dynamics where they're trying to out-sneak each other. There were some really smooth Yave-inspired sequences, given their respective backgrounds. At first, I liked the dueling limb work. Ishimori was going after Despe's shoulder. Despe was going after Ishimori's knee. I thought they were both done quite creatively and interestingly. There's a good selling from the recipients at first. They did blow it off later, but whatever. I thought it was notable from Ishimori, actually, because being the proper heel, we don't often see Ishimori selling or working from underneath, but I thought he did it well in the early portions of the match, at least here. So I thought there was a really interesting and fluid dynamic. It kind of ebbed and flowed between the two of them without either of them being a sort of overwhelming face or heel, because they've both got, I think, big babyface elements to their characters as well.
Yeah.
Conventional wisdom says you shouldn't do that in wrestling, but I thought it really worked here, and that's what I really like about Despe as champion, and I guess 2021 Suzuki-gun in general, because they're still a bunch of scumbags, but they're kind of lovable scumbags. You want to root for them. This sort of misfit bunch of strangely charming rogues. They've sort of organically slid into the tweener faction role, I think, to really good effect. But back to the match, there was a really nasty elbow exchange, some very great transitions, scrambles, mostly looked smooth and organic, not like the dreaded finisher reversal dance we sometimes see. I think the way the numero dos and the yes lock or the bone lock went back and forth was really exciting. It looked great. Could have done without the interference, but I will allow it just for the one caveat that the bizarro world scenario of Yoshinobu fucking Kanemaru making a babyface save. What a world we live in, Damon.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take away from some of the wrestling in the final stretch of the match. I thought it was absolutely top tier. Maybe there was one spot which didn't go quite right, but aside from that, it's as good as I can remember in the New Japan Junior division in recent years. That bit where there was the Pinche Loco into the reverse into the bone lock was outstanding, just picture perfect. And I think we often forget how brilliant Taiji Ishimori can be. Despe was here with him every step of the way. Just two, I think, really terrific wrestlers at their best. Didn't have the stage or the stakes or the emotion, the drama of their bouts with Hiromu, but they put on a hell of a match here. They worked so hard. Story was really good. Watching those interviews I mentioned last week helped, because you can see how Despe really needed a dominant win here to prove himself. That he deserves this belt and he's better than Ishimori. And down the stretch, there was a bit of a payoff to the knee work where Despe just kicked Ishimori in the bad knee and took control. And I really like the way he used two Pinche Locos to sort of put the exclamation point on the win. I thought it was a terrific match. Despe really needed this after the Yo match, which was pretty pedestrian last month, but to prove that he's not just a placeholder champ. He's a top guy in the division. He can deliver in a main event. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I'm right there with you on a lot of the points that I had written down. One of which is the idea of, again, technically two heels fighting over a title, which I kind of always enjoy that dynamic, right? But you are right in the fact that Suzuki-gun playing. I don't know if I would go full-fledged babyface, but it's like Suzuki-gun hates other wrestlers, whereas Bullet Club hates the fans, right? And I guess that's how they designate who's going to play that heel role, at least going into the match. And you're right. The exclamation point for El Desperado, right? Two of them planting them clean as a whistle, and even how he pinned them. Like it wasn't like it was. This was like I'm hooking the leg. This was Undertaker folding the arm style pin. Which I thought was an even bigger exclamation point than the two at the end. So the idea of Desperado kind of having a nice little run, I like. I like the idea of Robbie Eagles now in the mix. I like the idea of that being, I don't want to say a placeholder, but again, I think all roads lead to Despy and Hiromu, which, again, we know delivers. I guess the one, I don't want to say annoyance, because it really wasn't an annoyance, but it was just something that felt to me a little bit overblown. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of, and I guess the term I'm going to use is overselling. And sometimes I kind of felt like there were times where okay, especially when we were working over the arm, like Desperado's getting his arm worked over, and it's just this constant yelling, right? It was just like the whole entire, it felt like 15 minutes of him yelling. And again, we're getting over the fact that he's in pain in the arm. It just felt like, oh my God, he's really going over the top with this. It was, again, a small thing, but it was like, it felt like it was constant throughout at least the early portions of the match. I hate to be the 5-minute guy, but yeah, the last 5 minutes were very good. And yeah, I don't, of the main events, we'll leave it as, of the main events, I liked the tag match better, but again, if we're kind of giving where we think this lands in the New Japan match quality rankings, and we are the official rankers of match quality, I'm in the I'm at 4. I'm hard pressed to go any harder than 4. I'm in the low 4s. How's that grab you?
Yeah, I would be with you there. 4 and an eighth. 4.125 stars. And of course, I said last week I was expecting Hiromu to be the next challenge, but didn't. We got a video with Robbie Eagles making the challenge, which I wasn't expecting, but I love the idea of Despy versus Eagles at the Tokyo Dome, which we are going to be getting. I did enjoy post-match Despy complaining about the video, because Robbie Eagles just said, "Hey champ, I want to be the next challenger." And it's like, why didn't you make 2 videos? You could have done one saying my name and one saying Ishimori's name, which I thought was pretty funny. But Tejas says, I like Robbie, but felt it was too sudden for him to challenge Despy. What are your thoughts? So next challenger, Robbie Eagles. What do you reckon?
I like it. It's fine. It's you know what I mean? Like the idea of number 1 contenders and the idea of, like, even he joked about it a little bit in the video, didn't he? Like he was just like, now this is how we do it, so I'm going to throw my name in the hat. I'm the next challenger. It doesn't, just give me the matches, right? Just give me the matches. Look, I do like a build, but it's hard to do now. You know, the logistics of it. And trust me, the first thing I thought of was the logistics. I'm not going to lie. Okay, I'm sure there's some pre-planning, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's already got his bag packed and he's ready to quarantine there or do whatever they got to do.
He must already be in quarantine, actually, because he is wrestling this Saturday in the Korakuen show.
Oh, so there you go. Okay, so yeah, he's definitely there. By the time you're listening,
I take your point though. You know, we talked about this before, that New Japan is started to become great matches in a vacuum company.
Yep. I mean, what else? What other choice do you have? Right? They don't have the. I mean, the idea. Can you imagine trying to do any type of long-term booking? You know, okay. Here's our big show. We got to build, like people will piss and moan about New Japan's booking and all. I mean, God, how do you book this? How do you make this work?
Yeah. Oh, this guy's got injured. Oh, this guy's got COVID.
Right.
Oh, state of emergency. This show's cancelled. Oh, you can't bring in this guy from abroad. It must be a fucking nightmare, Damon.
I can't imagine how many pieces of paper have been ripped up and thrown in the bin just because, well, now what? Right? So sometimes it might feel like a holding pattern. Yet, Joel, to me, we've got a tag situation. And again, I know we're going to get there, but I'm very excited for it. That I think is the freshest, the most energy, the most excited I've been for in in years. I mean, when I say years, I'm talking years. Think of all the tag teams that we've had to sit through that, okay, they might have been a little bit interesting, but in comparison to what we have in just this year, it's been so much, well, maybe this year, past 2 years, it's been so much fun. And I don't think we would have gotten that without the COVID situation. I love it. Love it with a capital L.
That's the interesting thing. I think there are fewer titles on the table at the moment, given the IC title no longer exists. The US title is on Jon Moxley. The Never title is on Jay White, and neither of those guys are in Japan at the moment. So there is only the heavyweight title, junior tag, heavyweight tag, and the six-man titles. And if I missed any, the junior title as well. And I don't think you can really fault the booking of any of those. I mean, Shingo as champion, I think has been great to watch so far. Despy as junior champion, great. Never six-man titles, the Chaos Team, great. The heavyweight tag situation at the moment, very exciting, as you say. The only thing is the junior tag, but I know that feels like sort of
right. What are you going to do? Right.
Nitpicking at the moment.
Right.
But aside from that, and even that, to be fair, I'm interested in the match they got planned for the Tokyo Dome. I think New Japan are really putting their best foot forwards, despite all the challenges.
And I like the fact that, if you're, and this is certainly not a knock at Shingo, because he's not been given a full opportunity, right? But you don't have to worry about, is Shingo a draw? Is he the guy that's going to carry the company? All the business stuff that goes along with putting your top title on a guy. Like, he's able to just go out there and have great matches. And, crowds, all that shit, that's not really something that's going to sit on his shoulders. So the idea of them being like, okay, yeah, we're going to give it to the guy who can fucking works his ass off every match, has great matches, and we're guaranteed greatness. Like, it kind of makes sense that they're going to do that. The idea of the tag belts, okay, great. We're going to put Naito back in that mix. First time in 10 years, 15 years. We're going to put him back in that mix. We're going to make Tekker's awesome. And even to a certain point, even the little rumblings of that is going to happen or not. But like a Tanahashi and Okada, people kind of thinking like, "Ooh, that might be sexy." It's that kind of things. Again, we wouldn't have that. There's lots of things that we wouldn't have had that were interesting and fun. There were things that we had that we didn't necessarily enjoy, and it was hard to swallow. But even like some of those New Japan Cups, the empty arena New Japan Cups, that was pretty. We're not going to see a lot of that craziness that occurred there. I don't know. I just kind of. I understand the fact that it's hard for people to fully commit with again the crowds and all that. But again, we haven't had crowds in 2 years. I mean, Jesus Christ, what are you going to do? I think they're making the most of the situation. And Angel, they had a promotion that rose from the depths it was literally there, so people could have something to do if they were trapped in the United States. And now look at what they got. They got a show that's darn near close to selling out.
Let's stick with the tag division then and talk about the main event of Sunday's show, also in Hokkaido. The IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match with the challengers Sanada and Tetsuya Naito defeating the champions Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi in 36 minutes 57 seconds. It was Naito that pinned Zack after the Destino, so we have new tag champions. And yeah, I thought this was a really, really good match as well. I like the big match Taichi entrance, the hometown hero. I thought they'd let the hometown hero win, but it wasn't to be in this case, but we'll come on to that. I always enjoy the grappling exchanges between Zack and Sanada. I thought they got good chemistry there. The Taichi and Naito chemistry is more like a character-based conflict, if you will, between like these two smirking dickheads. So it kind of started off like two parallel singles matches, and they were like, teasing and building up to the crossover. And when Taichi and Sanada finally got in the ring, I thought they had a really good sequence together. That's the one combination of these four guys that doesn't have as much mileage and proven quality as the others, but I thought they were really good out there. And then after 25 minutes, they got into the tornado tag portion of the match where everyone's sort of flying around. Everyone got really fun. Taichi's elbowing people in the teeth. He's dropping people on their heads. I thought Naito and Sanada, they worked some nice combinations together. There was a great sequence where there was a Sanada drop kick, and then an Enziguri, then a backdrop, then a jackknife pin. Really, really smooth. And then anytime Zack and Naito are in the ring, they're magic together. They channeled some of that from their awesome G1 match last year. Great reversal exchanges between them. I really like the spot with the Cobra twist and the stretch palm, the dual submission spot. That had really good drama, Naito trying to get to the ropes. And I thought the finish was terrific as well, where Dangerous Tekkers are about to hit the Holy Zack driver, then it was reversed into the little half Destino. Then Sanada hits the moonsault. He locks Taichi in the skull end, and Naito hits the Destino. There's something really satisfying about everyone getting in their big signature moves at the end. And whilst I was disappointed, terrible weekend for Zack Sabre Jr. Disappointed that Dangerous Tekkers lost. I thought the match was really, really great.
I thought it was one of the best tag matches, tag team championship matches that we've seen in quite a while. Again, go through the names of some of these teams that we've had to sit through throughout the years. I mean, we haven't had a great time when it comes to the tag teams, and it's always felt like it was second fiddle. It always felt like it was like the B team. It always felt like it was guys who had nothing to do. It always felt like just I don't want to say a throwaway, but a throwaway for years. And again, we had a great time with our world title and other singles titles, but it always felt like the tag team titles took a back seat. And that didn't feel that this way at all. It felt, obviously it was the main event, and that's saying something. And it just felt very important. And dare I say, it felt very old school. Like, it felt very old school to me, which was a good nostalgic feeling with modern pro wrestling. The fact that each of those guys were important major singles guys for portions of a New Japan calendar year. And the fact that they didn't, even with that being said, it didn't feel like they were just four random Fire Pro Wrestling guys shoved together and said, okay, go out there and do something. Like, it felt again, very old school, where tag teams were tag teams. And men were men. You know what I mean? But that's the way it felt like. It felt like these were established teams. And even LIJ, you could make the claim that they're an established unit at the very least. And arguably, top guys, even though Shingo's your world champion, Naito is probably still the top guy, right? So, I don't know. It just had it felt special. It felt meaningful. It felt important. And the match delivered. Everybody was able to get their shit in and not make it feel like they're shoehorning their shit in. Seriously, again, main event. We got to fill the time. It's penciled in for 30-something minutes. Every main event in the history of New Japan main events, 30-something minutes. We got it. But I was glad to see it, and it never felt like it overstayed its welcome. I loved it. I like the fact that we do have new champions, which makes things even more interesting. Again, if we throw the Empire in the mix, now we have that. And again, if we throw in, again, just to throw it in, a Tanahashi Okada thing would be pretty amazing. Having these two guys come together and find a way to form a team would be ridiculously great. And again, I don't even think Tekkers are out of the mix. I think Kevin Kelly made a really good point in the sense that not a lot of tag teams right now. Not a lot of tag teams. So they're not going to fall that far. So we could definitely see a rematch there. So I'm excited for it.
We do, Damon. They're getting a rematch at the Tokyo Dome. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. I love it. I think it's... Look, I love the idea of an established tag team. that feels new and fresh and important. I have zero problem with a rematch immediately. None whatsoever. So, look, if they find a way to keep this momentum going, I'm all for it. Again, the hard part is okay, bringing people in, getting people in. And
well, you say that, Dave. My big fear for this tag division is this potential brick wall it's going to hit or could hit in the future in the shape of the Good Brothers. And I cannot shake this feeling that they're going to win the tag team turbulence thing on Strong, and they're going to somehow get back to Japan, and then we're just going to get endless GOD versus Good Brothers feuds over these tag titles. And I hope I'm wrong, but I can sense it. Doesn't that sound like the kind of thing that would happen once people can travel?
It really does. And that's why I'm saying enjoy it while you can, almost. But I hope they don't do it. They really have a... Here's what Look, I said it last week. You go on New Japan World, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed would you be if fucking Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows beat, like, I don't know, pick Naito and Sanada, or, like, give me a scale 1 to 10. Good Brothers holding these titles.
A solid 9.
Of the disappointment scale. Yeah.
If anyone from the company's listening, don't do it.
I mean, I'm on my hands and knees begging, don't do it. Please don't do it. I mean, you have probably the most interesting thing going on right now when it comes to your company. To me, anyway. And again, I hate to say it, but it feels like they're doing it just because they had no choice to do it. Like they have a win that they're reluctantly going through with. Do you feel that? Do you feel that
this is like Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30? Like they've been dragged kicking and screaming into booking a compelling tag division.
Right. Oh, isn't that frustrating? I mean, maybe we're just looking at a pessimistic view, but if they're going to fuck this up, I'm telling you. Oh, see, I just sat here and it was like I sat here and they praised.
I take it back, because this is something that hasn't happened yet, and I feel
it hasn't happened yet. But the handwriting's on the wall. We're not dumb. Come on.
These are the final seconds.
The lead in the fourth. Can they hold on to it?
That do or die time, and everything rides on one shot. But it isn't going to be that easy.
And it's a 1-point game.
This is down to the wire.
They're going to try the 3-point attempt.
One shot to take you to the top. One winner. This is clutch basketball. That's the NBA playoffs. That's game.
If you've ever been a renter, you know it's stressful to find a place with everything you love and nothing you don't. But did you know Zillow does rentals? It makes the search so easy. They have filters for pretty much everything, so you can find that place that's in your budget, but also isn't a shoebox. Or a place that's close to your parents, but far enough they have to call first. Plus, it's easy to apply, request tours, and pay rent in the app. Head to ZillowRentals.com and find your sweet spot.
We're not dumb.
We had all that positivity going. We're both really high on these two main events in the tag division. Now I've ruined it with something that may not even happen.
Let's talk about race relations in England. Come on. Make me feel more comfortable.
Fucking Boris Johnson. Cunt. Okay. Right. Let's preview some upcoming shows. So there will only be one show that will have taken place, I believe, televised by the time we next podcast. That'll be this Saturday at Korakuen Hall. And there's not really much to sink your teeth into there. Suzuki's back. Robbie Eagles is also back in action. The two top matches are singles matches in the junior division to build up to the junior tag title match. So we have a fourth match, special singles match with Yusuke Taguchi versus Taiji Ishimori. And then the main event, special singles match, El Phantasmo against Rocky Romero. Really excited about both of these because I recall a really good Ishimori title defense against Taguchi a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And there's one spot stuck in my mind of Taguchi taking the piss out of Ishimori doing the sailor dance. You know, when Ishimori was doing the Sailor Boys Idol gimmick and Taguchi was making fun of that, and Ishimori got really annoyed. So I hope we get to see more of that, and two quality wrestlers. That one should be really good. And of course, the magic that happened when Rocky Romero faced El Phantasmo at Korakuen in Best of Super Juniors a few years ago. That arguably made El Phantasmo. So
same building, right?
Yeah. So I'm really keen on these two singles matches.
Yeah. I mean, look. I don't know if I'm going into it with as much pep and vim as you, but you do bring up a good point that there was magic to be had between Rocky and El Phantasmo, same building. So, I mean, listen, if they can find a way to make that happen, I mean, that'd be nice. Here's the thing, though. I just feel like, okay. So here's the positives, though. Let's stick with the positives. Rocky singles match back in Korakuen. He's got to be a little pumped for that, right? He's going to be a little bit excited for that. El Phantasmo is good, right? They're both good. All right. I don't know. Why am I not like I'm not amped up? What am I missing?
One day, this is a D level show. It is not. I'm not asking you to get absolutely amped about Road to Summer Struggle.
Okay.
It's a filler Korakuen show, which is, and I think these two really interesting singles matches are more than what we usually get on these shows. So I will take that. We've got more tasty stuff coming up in the future.
Right. Okay. All right. So you'll forgive my. All right. Let me. If it's great, it has the possibility of being really good. Let's leave it at that. Right. Okay.
All right. And other shows coming up. Again, we will preview these properly next week. So we'll just touch on the key matches here. So Thursday, July 22nd, Summer Struggle in Osaka. We've got a pair of singles matches here. Sanada versus Zack and Naito versus Taichi. And then the next day, Friday, July 23rd, Summer Struggle in Osaka Night 2. We got Sanada versus Taichi and Naito versus ZSJ. So we're sort of flipping the matches there. And yeah, I'm sure these will be really good. I like... Well, I was going to say I like all four guys. Sanada against Zack, I'm sure will be good. Sanada Taichi, I don't know. There are good sequences in the tag match, so I will reserve judgment until I see it. But I cannot turn my nose up at Naito versus Taichi and Naito versus Zack as a pair of main events, because I'm sure both of those would be really good. Last time we saw Naito and ZSJ, I mentioned it before in the G1, that was one of my favourite matches of the year. And yeah, again, I'm looking forward to all four of these.
Yeah, they should be fun. I think my biggest fear is Sanada as a single. I thought Sanada was really good in the tag.
Yes, agree.
You know what I mean? Like I really felt like he was more than fine. I had no complaints over him in that tag match. Zero.
Yeah. Is it a hot take to say he's a better tag wrestler than a singles wrestler? Because I think that's what I believe.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Him in a singles match, I agree. Look, give him the title.
Okay, and then on Saturday, the next day after that, Saturday, July 24th, Summer Struggle in Nagoya, we have two singles matches topping things here. We've got Ishii versus Evil and Tanahashi versus Kenta. Mm-hmm. Do you think Evil can... use the phrase again, drag Evil kicking and screaming to have a good match? I mean, there have been just little breadcrumbs that perhaps Evil is moving away from the shenanigans-filled matches that he usually has. And I could end up with egg on my face here with this Ishii match is full of bullshit. But Ishii versus Evil could be good. It could be.
I think it could be good. Can I set an over-under number of ref bumps?
Yeah.
Will there be more or less than not just I got hit, I fell down, I'm gonna hurt I hurt my shoulder a little bit. I'm talking full-fledged out cold referee. I'll set it at 2. Will there be more than 2?
I'm going to be optimistic and say no. I think if they're if they're fewer than 2, I would say that's progress. We're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. All right, so less than 2 or less is what you're saying. 2 is the push. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. I say more. I'm going over.
Tanahashi versus Kenta. I don't know. This is one that I could see being like very long and very slow.
Yeah, me too. That was the first thing I thought of. I don't think this is going to be a barn burner.
Yeah,
now,
I don't want to be one of these, like you said, the long matches are bad. The length of a match does not have an intrinsic value in and of itself. It's what you do with that time. Yep. But I'm a bit apprehensive about this one.
Yeah, I do have my reservations going in. Now, again, it's pretty amazing that I'm going to sit here and tell you that I don't have faith, because I do have faith that it could be good. I just... Yeah, I mean, I don't... Watch him just fucking blow the doors off the place. It'd be so great.
As soon as the bell goes, like, Tanahashi's charging at him. He's doing high fly flows off the apron after 30 seconds.
Fucking craziness. Prove me wrong. Well, you know what? They don't have to prove me shit. They have a fucking resume a mile long that proves me wrong. So fuck me. But yeah, it does feel like this is going to be a longer, a lot of stuff on the mat, right?
Do you think over or under 35 minutes?
I'll go under 35, but again, it's going to be right against it. It's not going to be like it. I'm not saying 15. It'll be right there, but I'll say under.
And then on Sunday, July 25th, we have Wrestle Grand Slam in the Tokyo Dome.
Wow.
So we are starting off opening match. This is pre-show, but we will see it on New Japan World. A KOPW 2021 match, the New Japan Rambo. Number of entrants will be announced at a later date, so this will be everyone who's not involved on the rest of the card, presumably. So Yano has given us 2 suggestions here. New Japan Rambo with handcuffs or New Japan Rambo with blindfolds. As I said on Twitter, great that they're finally embracing the BDSM community. How long until we have pegging and chastity belts in the New Japan Rambo? But, I mean, a Rambo... I love Rambos. Rambos are always fun. None of these sound fun. Rambos with handcuffs and blindfolds sounds bad and boring, and I don't like it.
I don't understand. Okay, the so they get in the ring and then they're instantly blindfolded, or are they blindfolded and they have to find the ring? So they're in the Tokyo Dome,
walking down to the ring, getting lost, falling off the ramp.
Wouldn't that be great? That'd be fantastic. They're coming out of the dugout, they fall, they're counted out. Yeah, right? Is that how they're doing it, or they have to be blindfolded when they get in? Is that how we're doing it?
Who fucking cares?
Oh, come on, Joel. They put a lot of time and effort. And then what's the other? A handcuff? I don't understand the handcuff. The handcuffs are in the ring? Everybody gets
How does that work for a Rambo?
Right, I don't understand what the handcuffs have to... So there's going to be a pair of handcuffs in the ring? Everybody gets handcuffs?
Oh, you have to be handcuffed before you make your entrance? You're coming out from behind the apron with a pair of handcuffs already on?
Right.
Are they all handcuffed to each other? Are we going to have like 20 guys all a massive chain?
So fucking ridiculous.
We've probably given this more time than it deserves. First match is going to be IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. And I like this one. So we got ELP and Ishimori, the champions, defending against one of my low-key favourite junior tag teams, the Mega Coaches, Rocky Romero and Ryusuke Taguchi. To me, this is like the perfect kind of opening match for a Tokyo Dome show. I think this one will be really good.
I think it'll be very good. Yep. Again, under 10, a little sprint. Get in, get out. New tag champs?
I'm going to save that, Damon, because we'll do a full preview of it next week. But I'll just give my initial thoughts on the match announcements, and we can do our predictions and stuff on. You're
going to sit there with a notebook and be like, really, like, okay, really
yeah, I've got to study the form. I need to talk to Chris Samsa, see what the data says.
Yes, yeah. Call Chris and be like, well, Rocky's had. I'll just shut up. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Second match is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. El Desperado defending against Robbie Eagles. I mean, I suppose this is a bit of a dip for the placement of the junior singles title, but I'm okay with that. Despy versus Eagles should be really good. I like both guys. I thought their match in Best of Super Juniors last year was really good. So, again, if they get enough time, I'm sure this will be very entertaining.
This would be, well, no, he'll have some warm-up shows we just mentioned, but as I say, I thought this was going to be like, he spent the entire year in Australia, and now he's going to parachute in. He's like in the Tokyo Dome. What a life, that Robbie Eagles. Christ.
Straight out of quarantine. Right,
Yeah.
get in the ring.
Right.
He's coming out, he's like jet lagged. Oh no, it wouldn't be jet lagged, would he, after quarantine? But unshaven.
And he's in the same time zone, correct? I'm just saying. Right?
Yeah.
Do you get jet
I'm an
lag if
idiot.
you're in the same time zone? You're in the same time zone, right?
Yeah. I take it back. Okay, third match then, special singles match. Kazuchika Okada versus Jeff Cobb. I hate to say it, but a lot of these singles matches with Okada depend on which version of Okada turns up. But this is Tokyo Dome, right? There's no way we get lazy money clip Okada here. And especially against an opponent like Jeff Cobb. And last time Jeff Cobb was in the Tokyo Dome, he had an absolute fucking match of the year, killer contest with Shingo. So I am going to tentatively say that this one will be really good as well.
I'll tell you what. Imagine being Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb has one of the best pro wrestlers on God's green earth in a building where you know he's going to have his working boots on. Singles match. Jeff Cobb has got to be fucking out of his mind with this one. Like, he's got to be just totally amped to get in the ring in this venue. Singles match. Yeah, he's we're gonna see next level Jeff Cobb, I think, here. This could be really, really good. Right? Because
and weirdly, I think the fact that it's not a main event, the fact that it's the third match means that there are time restraints on it that I think will help.
Correct. I'm just about to mention it. Yep. Yeah, if Okada is in any way physically okay, this on paper has a ton of potential. Circle that match, because that one's going to be fucking good. I will be very disappointed if we're not talking about that as one of the top 1-2 matches of this evening. Just make that note, please, for the record.
Fourth match is the tag title rematch with Sanada and Naito defending against Dangerous Tekkers. So the first one was great. This one, I don't think it's going to go as long, but it's the Tokyo Dome. It's the semi-main event. Can't wait. This is going to be really good.
And they'll give it time. But yeah, they'll give it time. It will be good. It will be great. Yeah. Do you think they would flip-flop the title back?
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't rule out either.
That'd be. You know what? I would have no problem with that. Yeah. Okay. I'm down. But it would be great. That'll be great. All right. What is that semi-main event? And then next.
And main event is the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Shingo Takagi defending against Kota Ibushi.
That's gonna suck, dude. That's gonna suck.
I'm going to skip that. When the tag title match is gone, I'll check the result later.
Yeah, tell me if it's good. Come on, people. It's gonna be fucking great. Joe, that's
a show, isn't it?
That's a fucking great show.
Tremendous.
Yep, that's a great show. I mean, and here's the thing too: it doesn't feel like we're shoehorning in too much, where it's like, okay, there's too much on this show, and once again, I'm not. I hate saying it. It makes me feel dirty. We wouldn't have a show like this. We would have the shit shoehorned in if we didn't have the restrictions that we have in place. It's almost like we have these built-in set of restrictions, pardon the pun, to keep things in check. And these are the confines in which you have to work, New Japan Pro Wrestling. These are the chess pieces that you have. Give me the best that you can do. And I kind of like that. There's no... I mean, honestly, aside from the Rambo, which is going to be just nonsense, but okay. Give me the filler on this show. Like, what would you consider the filler? Maybe the junior tag match, but I think that's going to be, again, 10 minutes of sprint, you know?
This is a Tokyo Dome worthy card for me.
Yes. I agree. 1,000%. 1,000%. I'm actually pumped for this. This will be very good. I don't know how they're fucking pulling it off though, but they're gonna try to find a way to fucking pull it off. Not that you would know the answer to this, but when the fuck are the Olympics?
No, I don't know. But you mean the fact that we're getting 5,000 people for this and 0 fans for the Olympics?
Just saying.
I don't care. This is one of the things I just refuse to talk about attendance restrictions and COVID impact anymore. Because everything can just change in a second, so it's pointless.
How do they pull that off? Can we just talk about that for a second?
No, you can't make me talk about it. You can talk about it by all means, but don't try to draw me into that conversation.
You're in. You are a co-host of this show. You are in. How do they fucking pull that one off? How do they fucking pull that off? I mean, I don't know exactly when the dates are, but interesting. Interesting to say the least. Good for them. Good for them. Good for that Brucey Road. Little under the table business dealing, you think? Huh? Little something for the missus. Get her something nice. Let me have some people in this fucking building. All right. Oh, look at you standing tall. No comment whatsoever.
No, I'm going to move on. I'm going to give you a listener question that has aged like milk. Chris says, Chris did not have the information that we have at the time of writing this question. Going by the Tokyo Dome card, there are some big names either in the Rambo or not on the show. Assuming it's the former, so assuming that these big names are going to be in the Rambo, may this indicate a more serious direction for the title? So obviously this question was written before the fucking blindfolds and handcuffs gimmicks were thrown into the mix. But no, Chris. Knowing what we know now, I'm sure you wouldn't be asking the same question, but I thought that's a funny one. Bash says, with the Never title in the States, right, are the tag belts going to be the de facto belt the top guys will feud over till it comes back? So yeah, I did say earlier that there are fewer titles, well, certainly fewer singles titles now than there were, given the situation mentioned. But it feels now that as a result of that, would you say that the heavyweight tag titles are now the second most prestigious titles that are physically in Japan at the moment?
What about the I still think the junior title is pretty prestigious.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that junior title is second on this show and
Correct.
Heavyweight tag is fourth.
Yeah, yeah. We probably. I mean, it's a weird time, but yeah. I mean, if you even if you're looking at this show, it's amazing how you can just turn the fucking flames up and heat something up and make it relevant and make it important. Pro wrestling.
It was one of those things we talked about it for years about. Why don't you just have 4 upper mid cards or even top main event guys who are not doing anything and have them feud over the tag belts? That'll be so good. It will make it more interesting. The matches will be better. People will be more invested. And we said that, but it's one of those things that you say as a podcaster that there's probably more to it than that. Maybe if they actually did it, it wouldn't work out. But it has. It's that easy to just put 4 quality wrestlers in, and there you go. The heavyweight tag division suddenly must see. So.
I feel like they had and again, I don't know, but don't you feel like they feel like, all right, we have a commitment to, and again, I'm just going to use fucking God as an example.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we have a commitment to them, and we have to put them in that mix, right?
100%. Okay, so let's move on to New Japan Strong then. Do you want to give your thoughts match by match, Damon, or shall I just give mine and then you give me your thoughts at the end?
You give your thoughts, because truth be told, I didn't say it.
Okay, so we started off with Barrett Brown defeating the DKC 7 minutes 2 seconds by Schoolboy. I like DKC. I like his sort of frantic energy. It's quite exhausting to watch, but you can tell that he's working extremely hard, as he should be, as the most recent or second most recent dojo recruit. I appreciate that they're spending some time building Barrett Brown. He hasn't had that breakout match yet, but obviously the company clearly sees some upside in him because they're not giving out these long-term stories and progression to wrestlers willy-nilly on Strong. He's one of the few people that's getting it. So the fact that they're dedicating this much time on Barrett Brown makes me think that he's one to keep an eye on, because I think he's a talented guy. And he's got a very good sort of heelish weasel face. So let's see where this goes. Because there's not really precedent for this kind of thing on Strong. So I'm interested to see what the end game is for Barrett Brown. Second match, we had the Alex Coughlin Challenge match series with PJ Black defeating Alex Coughlin in 9 minutes 33 seconds with his finishing move Bad Habit. PJ Black, he just looks more and more bizarre each time I see him. The hair or the beard or the gear, he will change something. Such a strange man and kind of a mesmerising man. I remember listening to an interview with him a while back, and he's just believes and follows a lot of really weird shit. Not bad stuff, just very, very weird.
Give me an example. What would you say would be it? What would it be? Give me an example.
I'm trying to remember. It was like sort of these weird ideas about energy, and if you do this and if you do this kind of breathing, you can focus this special type of magic energy which will give this result. It's just
really
sounded like something that would be better off in fucking Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. But someone posted something really funny on Twitter. Let me try and find who it was. The Kaz Wheeler said PJ Black looks like he left Justin Gabriel at home to go get a six-pack and some cigs and never came back. But no, this match was really good actually. He laid it in really hard on Alex Coughlin. It was more hard-hitting than I expected it to be. Always fun watching Alex Coughlin manhandling, ragdolling people. Just really exciting guy to watch. Can't say enough good things about him. I would actually tell you, listener, to go out of your way to see this. It was short, but it was a really, really good match. And then main event was Josh Alexander defeating Rocky Romero in 11 minutes 51 seconds with divine intervention. This was great, Damon. Again, I know you haven't seen it, but if you got 12 minutes to spare, definitely check it out. And it was such a terrific showcase of everything that is good about Josh Alexander, whilst also being a close competitive match. Alexander, he's looked tremendous here. The grappling, the power, the submissions. He's got a really nasty moveset, moves that look real. All of his moves look like they fucking hurt, which is always a plus for me. And every week, I feel like I'm coming onto this podcast singing Josh Alexander's praises. I don't know what to say anymore. Sign him up. He's an absolute layup, an open goal to be a success. Either in the States or Japan, any weight class. He's a big dude. He doesn't have to be a junior. You could do the Shingo thing with him, have him run through the junior division, then move up to heavyweight if you want. And also, let's give some credit to Rocky here. Because Damon, can you tell me anyone in this business who is as good as Rocky at taking a 10-minute match to bring out all the strengths of a new opponent, whether he wins or loses? It doesn't matter if he's schooling a young lion or putting over a new talent. He will find what you're good at with laser-sharp precision and shine a light on that. And it's not about letting a guy hit all of his signature moves and squash you. These are all well-worked, compelling, competitive matches. So both he and his opponent come out looking great, whatever the result is. And I just get excited every time I see a Rocky singles match on Strong now because of this very reason. And just the laundry list of opponents he's had quality 10-minute matches with on Strong and help them get over within Strong or get over to the point at which some of these guys have since earned contracts with other companies. So Josh Alexander, Clark Connors, AJZ, Wheeler Yuta, Kevin Knight, Leo Rush, Chris Dickinson, DKC, Danny Limelight, Russ Taylor. That's just on Strong. Look at the other promotions he's helped get people over.
Yeah.
Fred Yehai on ROH, JD Drake in PWX, El Hijo del Santo, WBC, Tom Lawler in MLW, Michael Oku in Rev Pro. And not only is he out there getting over others in the ring as one of the most insightful and unselfish wrestlers on the planet, he's also booking my favourite weekly wrestling show to near perfection. So Rocky Romero, he can do it all. I'm not trying to blow smoke up his ass because he's a friend of the show. We've spoken to him before. He's probably not even listening to this, but he's just an absolute treasure to the business. Let's give the man his damn flowers.
Yeah. No, I was just about to ask you, do you think he is underrated with his contributions to pro wrestling in the past 5 years? Like, I feel like he's like one of the most underrated guys in all of pro wrestling, in his contributions of all the things that you see that he had his hand in making.
I think in certain circles, like, the kind of fans like us or, Voice of Wrestling, people like that, we know how valuable Rocky is in and out of the ring. But I think maybe to the casual fan, they don't appreciate just how important. If there is no Rocky Romero, what would New Japan Strong look like at the moment? Because I'd say it probably wouldn't be half as good as it is.
Right. I remember talking to people when Strong first started. You remember that, Joel, talking to certain peoples. Strong was not a destination location when it first started, right? Do you think it's a fair statement?
Yeah, it felt like it was just a placeholder thing, treading water for people who couldn't make it back to Japan.
Yeah. And what it's turned into is pretty amazing. And again, we're not just going to pin this all on Rocky, mind you, but there's been a lot of people that have been behind the scenes to make it work. And in the ring, let's be truthful there too, to make this a success. Because if the matches were shit, guess what? Nobody would watch. I don't care what you're doing behind the scenes. But yeah. I mean, I feel like he's one of those guys that doesn't get the flowers enough. So for all the contributions that he's had. So I'll be hitting you up shortly, Rocky, for credentials. No, I don't know. Yes. So
DMs are open for any scoops. So
yeah. Just saying, Rocky. All right, very good. We threw the flowers. We did our part. I don't know. The listeners have to take it from there. By the way, we're only an hour and 19 minutes in, and it feels like 6 hours.
Okay, well, I'll get into some questions, Damon. You send the safe word on WhatsApp when you've had enough. We'll call it a day. So let's do Discord first. Nehek says, Sumo Joel, pants up or down for Terutsu big salt toss? Well, shouldn't be pants down, it should be Mawashi. So Mawashi down for that. I'm a big fan of Terutsu big salt toss. Very exciting basher at the moment. This kind of like head-to-head collision course between Terunofuji and Hakuho, and I hope we get like an epic final day 14-0 versus 14-0 clash at the top there. And ideally, I'd love to see Terunofuji win and a passing of the torch between Hakuho and he, and Terunofuji can be the next new Yokozuna. That'd be tremendously exciting. Classic Catch says, out of the current young lions in Nuge and LA dojos, who will be the next biggest future heel? This is a difficult one. There's no one there that screams heel energy at the moment. Maybe Tsuji, maybe Alex Coughlin. He's got a kind of a angry looking face and the moustache. He could be a good sort of ass kicking heel, I think.
He's got a moustache. He's got to be a heel.
Now, can you name any baby faces with moustaches? Historically, it's a heelish facial hair accessory.
Hulk Hogan was the biggest fucking baby face in the world. He had a mustache.
That's true, but he became heel. So now I would say the moustache is a signifier of
and we've come full circle in our racist talk.
Well, look, Kenny Omega's rocking the tash now, isn't he? The sort of Harley race thing, and that. I just think it's a heel signifier in this day and age. What do you want?
All right, that's good. There.
Okay, El Destructor says, certainly seems like the IWGP World Heavyweight title has been defended a lot this year and would have been defended a lot more if not for us living in these trying times. Is this the new normal? Can we expect to see more and more defences from this new belt lineage than we did from the last one? Or will we go back to having more time between defences once we stop having so many shows?
I mean, again, we spoke about this, that they're flying by the seat of their pants, it feels like, and they're trying to make things work with the chess pieces that they have, and that might mean more title defenses, and that might mean more, I don't want to say insignificant title defenses, just because they have shows to book. I don't know what the new normal means. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know when that occurs, especially in a country where I don't know how they're handling their vaccine situation or what.
Apparently it's like about 15, somewhere between 15 and 20% vaccinated at this rate. So it's improving.
Okay. My point being is this. We could speculate. I don't even think they know. You know what I mean? I don't even think they know right now. I think they are trying to book enough in advance so that they have an idea of where they're going, and at least have an escape plan and an escape hatch to pull if and when they get back to, again, air quotes, normal. But who knows? They don't know.
Flynn says, what are your thoughts on Master Wato 1 year on from him returning from excursion? Do you think his recent 2 singles matches showed some signs of improvement? Also, can Yuya Uemura please just come back from excursion as himself rather than with some cartoonish gimmick? I think the only wrestler who's really benefited from this is Okan, who feels completely confident and is always entertaining, but he does not have the looks and top star potential of Uemura. Wato, I think he is improving. On the mic, he seems a bit more confident when he's cutting his promos. Physically, like he's obviously working hard on his body shape and he's looking sort of more lean and muscular. And yeah, I just what I need to see from Wato is a high level singles match without any botches, because it just seems that every time he's put in a big spot, there's like at least 2 moments in the match where I'm like, oh, like and something goes completely wrong. And I think that's what we need to work on, and when that stops happening, his confidence will grow, and we'll get there eventually. He will be a passable mid-carder in the junior division.
Okay, we're talking about a guy who is. This is not like it's 6 months he's been in the ring. He's been in. I mean, honestly, are we going on 10 years he's been in the ring? Would I be out of line to say give you 10 years he's been in pro wrestling? Look that up.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, he started debuting, what are we talking, around 2016?
Okay, it's 2021. Right? That's not 10 years, I understand, but we're, it's not like he's 6 months, right? Like what?
Yes, well, it's 5 years, so okay. Half of the number that you gave.
My point being, though, is like, okay, but that was his ring debut. 5 years, that's it?
Yeah, so Kawato started working for New Japan in 2016, training in their dojo for his in-ring career. I also think...
What about backyard wrestling? Are you counting backyard wrestling?
I think maybe his excursion probably did more harm than good. Do you think that's fair to say? That probably set him back rather than... But
there are pictures of him.
Well, I just think there have been a few missteps that have hampered things, and there is the makings of I will say, solid wrestler there. I'm not going to say he's a future junior champ or main event or anything like that, because I haven't seen any evidence of that yet.
I mean, it's hard for me to say that Mexico is a bad thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. There are pictures of him dancing with Erica Canseco, my girlfriend from Mexico. I still follow her on Twitter, by the way. She's so amazing. I love her. She's so great.
Do you follow anyone on OnlyFans?
No, I don't even like. Is that where you pay to watch people masturbate?
Well, not you pay to people to upload material that you could masturbate to.
That's what I'm saying. Well, they masturbate to, and you masturbate to that, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
a lot of masturbating going on. All right. No.
Okay.
No. I mean, because why would I do that? Why would anybody do that?
To support independent artists.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm a.
So wait, I'm giving money to. So the idea is that there's a young lady or a young man or whatever you know.
They don't have to be young.
Does anybody want to see
I'm going to throw myself under the bus and say one of the creators that I support on OnlyFans is. I'm telling on myself here.
You support someone you don't like? Tell me about it.
Well, yeah, I'm a proponent of paying for your porn. I think it's something that
really okay. I'm okay. So, how much do you pay a month? Is it like Patreon?
I pay PayPal. It's a bit like Patreon. Yeah, you can sort of pay a monthly subscription. People set their rates differently, but
okay,
I'm paying about $15 at the moment. It's not that much.
$15 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you? What can I ask? What kind of do you? Is it exclusive videos?
It's not. It's just like Patreon. It's a stuff locked.
Oh, you're just literally just giving them money. You're just giving them. You're not getting anything in return.
No, you are. You get access to the... Yeah, sorry, when you say exclusive, you mean exclusive to all
people paying
OnlyFans subscribers, not exclusive to me.
Correct. Correct.
Anything.
Okay. Yeah, so you have access to videos that you might not have. Is it somebody famous?
Some creators just put stuff up, like the same stuff that they would share for free, and it's just like kind of like a tip jar. Hey, if you like what I'm doing,
throw me a couple bucks.
Like we do.
Right, okay. Is the person famous?
What? The people that I subscribe to?
Correct.
No.
Is it pornography? It is pornography, though, correct?
Well, that's what I was going to bring it up, because there's... I'm very uneasy talking about this.
See? Okay, so just as uneasy as I was before. Now you know.
I'm going to be brave and talk about it, and I don't think I'm going to get cancelled for this. So you know,
do you feel like you're going to get cancelled? Do you feel like you're going to get cancelled?
No, I don't.
Do you want to talk?
Nothing problematic.
I'm giving it to you right now. I don't want to put any peer pressure.
I think I'm the good guy here for putting money down and supporting these artists.
Correct. All right.
So you know the Instagram algorithm can give you stuff that you tend to like to look at.
Correct.
And so there's one lady who kept appearing on Instagram. Every time I'd open it up, she would pop up, and I'd think, oh, that's an attractive person. And so she launched an OnlyFans. So I was like, okay, I'll check this out. Show a bit of support. And the stuff that she is posting is quite mild. There's nothing. There's no nudes. It's just sort of sexy clothes, sexy poses, whatever. I'm like,
no vagina.
Fine.
You're not seeing. Are you seeing? Yes or no? Are you seeing a vagina? Are you seeing a vagina?
No
vagina.
No nipples. No vagina. Nothing. You're not seeing. You're seeing very, very little. And
really?
That's fine. Like whatever these people are comfortable sharing, absolutely cool. But it's just really interesting because every time something is uploaded, the comment section is just full of these really sort of indignant. Oh, I can't believe I paid for this. This is boring. How dare you show me this, show me that. And I think that's bad. I don't think people should be doing that. But again, they're paying customers. I don't know what the precedent is. What's the etiquette for? I'm just sort of observing it. I'm Louis Theroux. I'm watching it from a distance, sort of stroking my chin, like, this is interesting. How is this going to play out? Are they going to pressure this person into? Because she's obviously uploading stuff that she's comfortable uploading. But is there going to be a bit of pressure from the customers here to change the nature of the content? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, would you say, in your opinion, this is a bit of a bait and switch? Was there something that was promised with negativeness, or
this is the thing? Like, I don't.
Or is it implied that she was going to be showing more? And
I think it's just the expectation with OnlyFans. People expect with OnlyFans, because of its reputation, that you're going to be seeing some stuff.
Right. You're going to see somebody
she didn't say, if you subscribe
to
this, you will definitely see XYZ, which a lot of people usually do. Usually creators are quite clear about the kind of content you're going to get. Like, you pay X amount, you're going to get videos of this nature and photos of this and XYZ. And this person didn't do that, as far as I know. So there were no promises made, but I think people just subscribed expecting to see stuff that they're not seeing.
Okay. Then that... So, again... She made no promises. Is there an ambiguousness to it that there might be some because of the expectations of the platform? Would you say that there is expectations of people that would buy that, thinking that would be the case? Like, do you think she plays into that? I guess is my point.
If I'm going to be honest, I think maybe she didn't really understand OnlyFans and what the expectations are going into that. And again, this could be unfair of me to say that, but maybe she thought, I can, make a bit of extra money posting similar stuff that I do on Instagram. Because it's very similar and often the same as what she posts for free on Instagram. And that appears to have annoyed a lot of the subscribers.
Wow. Okay. Would you say, would she fall under the classification of like a model, or is she just a regular person? Like just
she has person? Like 250,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh my God,
that's a lot, isn't it?
I would think so. Yeah.
So maybe she's just thought, there's got to be a way to monetize this.
So let me ask you: Did you have expectations that it was going to be more?
Yeah, of course I
Yes.
did. I wouldn't have signed up otherwise. But at the same time, I'm not going to shit my nappy when I saw it and be like, I want my money back. This is
I was about to say, you pounding away comments. What the fuck is this?
No, but I'm just sort of intrigued as just the way, as a piece of drama playing out, what's going to happen.
All right, can I address the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that knows about this account?
No, you're literally the first person on the planet that I've told about this.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Do you think that will go over well?
With whom?
The person who you share a living space with.
Oh, I don't think she'd care. Well, she's not going to find out anyway. She's not going to listen to this.
Oh. All right. All right. She won't care though.
No.
Okay. I don't think I would. I don't know. I don't think I would. I can't say that I wouldn't pay. I don't know. I guess it's a fair thing, a fair exchange, right? Right. And the idea of them monetizing that is fair. I mean, I think they should. I just, I don't know. Look at you, though.
Taking the J-Cast in quite a different direction there.
This was a shocking revelation. I'm not gonna lie. A shocking revelation. Shocking. I'll tell you what I'm obsessed with when it comes to that. So again, the algorithm has hit me hard. There is this content, and it's not sexual in any way. Please let me be very clear. But have you seen the meme? And I guess they're like high school seniors, the equivalent, like the United States high school seniors, and they're saying where they're going to be going to college. So they'll be like, "Hi, I'm Carly, and I'm going to Arkansas University. Woo pigs!" Like I'm obsessed. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Why would anyone be interested in that?
Because it's so. I'm just like, why are these girls are just like, why are they saying these things? Like, I don't. And it's like this real. There's like 5 of these girls, and they're like, my name is Brittany, and I'm from Louisiana. I'm going to LSU. Go blah blah blah. And it's just that. I don't even know, but it's everywhere. And there's people that are like making fun of them, making fun of the way they talk because they just. I don't even know why, but I just thought I'd share that. I think you shared something. I thought I'd share something too, but it's not
Okay, we'll share it.
Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll play it right now. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see.
I've got no interest in it. It sounds
it's
rubbish.
Great. Don't tell me.
I don't want to see
Come
it.
on, wait. Let me see if I can find it. Come on. These girls are. Again,
All right, while you're finding it, can I
so
answer a Joel question?
All right, please.
Okay, so Rob asked me this a few weeks ago about the TV show Invincible, wanted me to cast a show with New Japan wrestlers. So I'll put some thought into this. So Mark Grayson, or Invincible character, I've got as Yuya Uemura, as a young guy with special powers, but he's learning the harsh realities of being a wrestler / superhero. He's struggling to define himself, but he's got that berserker side. Omni-Man, I've got as Kota Ibushi, who's from a superpowered alien race, wants to become a god, probably enslave the rest of humanity. Atom Eve, I've got as Fred Rosser, as a person searching for self-meaning, helping people directly with humanitarian actions. And the Mauler twins I've got as the Regal twins, which means one of them is a clone. And Art Rosenbaum is Tapler, who's helping design people's gear and merch. So that's all I've done so far. But there you go, Rob. Thank you for the question.
Thanks, Rob. I can't find it. I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, I know Tragic. I'll find it the minute I can't. You know, it's really. I mean, it's innocent, but it's just like now it's just turned into people like making fun of these poor girls. But it is funny though. All right, whatever. You don't care. No one cares. Woo pigs!
Okay, Antonio says, what are your thoughts on TV Asahi censoring and blocking people like Tyler, Wrestling Ranting, Foul Bulk, Kieran and other fans, etc. for using New Japan content? I saw Kevin Kelly talking about it, saying he didn't agree. What direction he's referring to about that? What's backstage scoop you guys know about this whole New Japan TV Asahi?
Is that Antonio? Is that Antonio?
It is Antonio. Our friend Antonio.
What's up, Antonio? Listen, Antonio, we love you. Love you. I love the fact that he continues to he just wants his question answered. And he's willing to put up with our bullshit to do so. Antonio, correct me if I'm wrong, is from Portugal, right?
Yes, that's right.
I knew that. You know how I knew that?
He's tweeted a few times. I've seen him popping up in the mentions about that.
That's how I saw it.
Supporting Italy. What's going on? Where's the solidarity with your wonderful co-host of your favourite podcast?
Right. You would think. Well, listen, it sounds like Antonio just wants to scoop. He just wants to know what's going on.
I think that's a fair question. I mean, people have brought that up a lot, and obviously things are tricky. Japanese TV stations don't see things the same way that Western ones might do. They're very aggressive when it comes to protecting what they feel is their intellectual property. But I can't talk too much, but I think that might change for the better in the future. That's all I can say. That's hope more than expectation.
Correct. I think that's a fair statement that Joel said. Please underline that. Also, I will have you know that even someone as famous as myself has had his YouTube channel shut down by TVS. I had like 3, I was like an old fucking account, but I think I uploaded 3, old, I don't even know, but they were ancient, not even big main event things, but it was from the mid 80s, I think. I had 4 or 5 matches that were up there. And I didn't even have it labeled. I just had it like initials and dates. Shut down. Copyright. Shut it down. I had to make a new account. Completely shut me down. So again, even I cannot skirt the copyright infringement team there. Here's the thing. They paid money for it. It's their content. Now, the content creators I never agreed with, in the sense of companies going after people who create videos or make custom content or I just don't see how that hurts a company. I just don't. I only think it helps, and I think those type of videos and how people consume, I think that only helps grow an audience. Again, it is about money. Let's be very clear. It is about money. They paid the rights. They don't want anyone touching it. Okay, fine. But the idea of not having fans, the fans aren't doing it to make money. Nobody's monetizing these fucking things. You know who they should worry about? They should worry about people who fucking, rip shows and then sell DVDs on eBay. Not for nothing. That's who you go after. Not fans creating content online to share with other fans. I mean, that's horseshit. So, all right. That's my rant for the day. But Antonio, we thank you for putting up with our shenanigans, and we appreciate the fact that you take the time to listen. And also, didn't you have a question about Gato? Here's the thing. That's all. He's not going anywhere, right, Joel? Gato's not going anywhere.
And I think a lot of the stuff that people... We've spoken about this before. There's more than one voice in the room when it comes to the booking. He is the figurehead, for better or for worse, but it's not solely him. That is down to the good stuff and the bad stuff as well. And if you believe other voices, that a lot of people say that the new stuff is down to Dick Togo. Whether or not you believe that, again, we've heard nothing confirming or denying that, but yeah, a lot of other people have suggested that Dick Togo is responsible for some of the more unpopular decisions. But again, I don't know whether or not that's true.
I mean, I'm sure he has a voice. I'm sure he has a say in what goes on. We're saying voice, we're saying voices of wrestling. We're not. That's not what we're doing here. It's they've always had that kind. I don't want to say committee that has input, and then it filters through. But yeah, I mean, I think he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's put it this way: he's not going anywhere unless he wants to go. At this point, that's really the bottom line. And I will, but I will say this: that me, a guy who's been watching this fucking nonsense for many, many years now, truly believe that a booker has a shelf life. that you only have so much creative ideas and you only have so much stuff in the tank. And maybe he's different from everyone else, but it's hard to keep things fresh and keep things lively and keep things interesting and generate money at the same time in the history of pro wrestling. So, okay, take that for what it's worth. There you go. See, we're not bad people, Antonio. We're not bad people at all. We're nice. We're nice people.
I'll tell you who does want to leave, Damon.
Me.
Yes. You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say me, but yes, you as well. Both of us want to leave. So I'm going to wrap this up. redcircle.com/shows/super-j-cast if you want to show your appreciation for us by giving us some money. Antonio, you know what to do, mate. And thank you to everyone who donated last month. We have that money. I split all the money 3 ways between myself, Damon, and Editor Dan. Discord link is in the show notes. At Cobra Kawaii and ProWrestlingTees.com/SuperJcast to get one of our shirts. And thanks as always to Editor Dan. Find him on Twitter at LousyHero219. Subscribe to the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network for other great shows. Please give us a 5-snake review on iTunes and some kind words. It helps us out a lot. Follow us on Twitter at TheSuperJcast. Thank you everyone for listening and goodbye.
These are the final seconds.
The lead in the fourth. Can they hold on to it?
That do or die time. And everything rides on one shot. But it isn't going to be that easy.
And it's a one-point game.
This is down to the wire.
They're going to try the three-point attempt.
One shot to take you to the top. One winner. This is clutch basketball. That's the NBA playoffs. That's game.
Clorox knows you want your clothes smelling fresh and clean, but what happens? That's why we created Clorox Fabric Sanitizers to freshen up your clothes between washes, pre-treat extra stinky laundry, and make sure every last odor comes out in the wash. Clorox Fabric Sanitizers take care of all that and eliminate 99% of odor-causing bacteria. Plus, they're bleach-free and safe for all colors and fabrics. When it counts, trust Clorox.